like there's an energy coming through now for us to clear between the four of us. And, you know, looking back at what you were saying, Catia, about obviously how we've been persecuted in past lifetimes, for our own work that we've done in the past lifetimes, and obviously being brought into this lifetime to work together in the way that we have, is very important for us to reference. But it's not always a case of where we reference it as being witches, is what they're telling me now. And this is not wrong, what you were saying, Catia, but it's where many lifetimes that souls have been in different, okay, what they're showing me now is actually different lifetimes in different galactic races, different solar systems is talking about. So it's not just about this actual physical human race, they're talking about actual other galactic races as well, where persecution for being spoken out or being outspoken has been from a point of understanding from the soul's origin. And it's not a case of only being in lower, denser energies. It's about the fact that communication is almost a process of polarity, a process of rhythm, a process of vibration. So when we are in the process of the laws of the universe, is what they're talking about now, is they're helping me to understand, is that we have the persecution that we talk about is about where we have decided that we are going to have a different experience in different lifetimes. Where in this lifetime, I will be a witch, if you like. And as a witch, I was not able to communicate my spiritual awareness, my spiritual gifts, because I was not able to do that in this lifetime, because that was the agreement that I had, that I would be a witch in that lifetime, and that I would have experience where I was not able to communicate my spiritual understanding, my spiritual gifts, because that was the experience that I chose to have. So this is where we, again, when we start to reframe it, we start to understand that the persecution was not because others were persecuting us from a point of we had no control over this from a soul perspective, but as a soul, we chose to have a lifetime where that would happen. So where we are moving through into these ascension lifetimes, and we are recognizing that we are in the ascension process, when we start to waking up into the understanding that the persecution was an experience that we agreed to, whether this be from a light source or a dark source, we can start to understand that our soul is now ready to accept that that was a process that we chose. Now, when we choose something in our lifetime, we have the free will to choose it, or we feel we do have the free will to choose it in this lifetime. But what is also important to reference is that as a soul, souls experience everything from a point of free will. That I, as a soul, chose that I would have this experience in this lifetime. I, as a soul, chose that I would have not a good experience. And that when I talk about free will does not necessarily mean that I have always choose to have a beautiful experience. Free will means that I'm choosing to have the experience that I chose to have in this lifetime. So this, again, thank you, Rebecca. We are here working with you now. So what we are doing now is helping Rebecca come back into, if you like, a recalibrated state. We're helping to recalibrate all of you now. We're bringing through a frequency, which Rebecca is, if you like, reverberating back to all of you. We would like you to all go into your own heart space now. Rebecca is bringing through a frequency. This frequency, if you like, is from where you all, as four souls, have agreed in this lifetime to have this session this evening. As you are having this session this evening, you are now starting to recognize, you can start bringing through the truth of your lifetimes, past lifetimes, and when you start to believe in. Rebecca is bringing through a specific frequency. Some call this light language. Some call this just an understanding of information that's coming through. Now, Vivien, you asked Rebecca the question about sound healing. You asked Rebecca the question of, is it important for a soul to have an intention when they listen to sound healing? You asked the question, is it important for a soul to believe in sound healing? Well, we're here to help answer this question for you now, Vivien. Rebecca is channeling through a frequency. Now, you could understand this as being sound healing. So let's imagine for you, Vivien, that you are sat there with your bowls, you're sat there with your crystals, you're sat there with your own frequency tools that you use. Now, let's imagine that you are sat there as the client and you've agreed to say, okay, I would like to listen to some of your beautiful music, Vivien. I would like to channel through some of your beautiful music. Now, as a soul, you have agreed from this point in time and space to sit there with Rebecca, to sit there to listen to Rebecca this evening, understanding that at some point tonight, she may start bringing through a frequency to help you start to believe in. Now, as Rebecca is bringing through this frequency, it may not be the most beautiful sound. It may not sound like the chimes that you bring through as you are working with your bowls, as you're working with your crew. Thank you, Rebecca. Understanding that we said the word crew, and what we meant by this is that you're working with your spiritual teams at that moment in time. That as you're channeling through the beautiful sound music, you're actually working with your spiritual teams to channel through how you'll bring that frequency through. Now, as you are working with your spiritual teams, or as we say, crew, Vivien, you are also working with Catia and Laura's crew too. So what is happening now is that all of your teams, your spiritual teams, are collected together. You're working together as a co-creative understanding of what is happening here this evening. So we have Rebecca's spiritual teams, we have Vivien's, we have Laura's, and we have Catia's too. That we're all working together in a spiritual sense, working out here in the quantum field to channel through to all of you individually. And Rebecca is channeling through this frequency to you. So let's go back to Vivien's question once again, is that does a soul need to have an understanding? Does a soul need to have an intention? Well, let's remember that each of you as souls have agreed to be with each other here tonight. You all received a frequency when Rebecca was bringing through this information. You've all received frequencies in this lifetime which could cause, if you like, that fright. The fright which causes you to, if you like, have that term of fight or flight. Now, what we are meaning by this is the purpose of this frequency coming through is a frequency of discernment, a discernment of which all of you are here to help discern through. So this is the case, this is Bex talking here again, so I'm just telling you, bringing through what they're telling me now, is that basically we are all here as a team to recognise this frequency, a frequency which is like a darker frequency, which is bringing up information to me now. So I'm starting to feel this like dark frequency, which is almost like an energy which I need to work through as a discernment. But the three of you are working with me now to help me do this. So you are helping me as from an energy level, help me to filter through this discernment. So we are co-creating together. So the the four of us coming through now here, you are helping me create a new frequency. You are all bringing through a frequency, whether you realize this or not. So we're going to amplify this now. We're going to take this into an amplified process. So by the fact that I've explained to you that we're now all discerning, we're working through a discernment process together, is if we all go into our heart space and recognize that each of us is bringing through this frequency, and it's about a discernment for all of us. So this isn't just about me as Rebecca, but this is about all three and four. Rebecca, thank you. So I'm just so you know, I'm struggling because I recognize that this frequency is coming through is stopping me from being able to channel through. So I'm asking you all now to recognize. We are here, Rebecca. Thank you. Okay. So we're now going to take over for you, Rebecca. We recognise that Rebecca is trying to bring through this information. She's trying to help explain to you individually and collectively what is happening for you all. She's helping you explain that the information that's coming through is a process that you all agreed to this evening. You agreed to help Rebecca with this process of discernment, but also for your own discernment levels too, so you can all start believing that as you're channeling through and you're bringing through your own channeled efforts, you're bringing through your own channel frequency, you're all bringing through your own channel messages, there's a level of discernment that's always required. A level of discernment that at this point in time and space, you've agreed to recognize. Now, as four souls that have been in previous lifetimes and past lifetimes together, you are being brought through now is from a point of quantum perspective, quantum healing that's happening live in front of you on this podcast this evening. What is happening is that we're bringing through this frequency. It's a frequency that you might start to feel in your heart. You might start to feel it like somebody putting an arrow or a dart. It could be painful, it could be hurtful, it could be telling you something you shouldn't want to hear. It could be something you're saying, no, please go away. I can't hear this anymore. It's not very clear. Anything that's coming through for you now individually would like you to start to understand. This is the level of discernment that you've decided to release tonight. Connect in front of Rebecca as she's holding up her hands. This level of discernment that you're feeling, it might start to feel a bit like it's starting to clear now. You might start to feel as though all of you, for each of you, four of you, have started to feel the discernment is now coming through. You might start to feel that the energy that was working with you just then has now started to clear, almost like an energy that where you could now start to feel like, oh, a feeling of excitement is coming through, or a feeling like you will just want to pick up the pen and start channeling through. This is not just about Rebecca, this is about all four of you. You've all decided that you want to bring through this level of discernment this evening. There's a level of discernment which was like almost like a key which needed to be turned. A key which needed to be turned so we can start to help bring through the light languages that are ready for you all in this lifetime and to help you discern. So when you discern, that means that you've recognized that there's a frequency there which shouldn't have been here. Not shouldn't have been here in the sense of, no, you should not be here, let's go away, you are not welcome. But it shouldn't be here because now you've decided that you've agreed to release this and that you've worked through the process this evening, that all four of you have come together. This was the agreement you had, that you would come together, you would support each other, and you'd be a friendship group together, but you'd be a friendship group where Rebecca is, if you like, the odd one out. Because Rebecca has not worked in your energies as a collective energy before. The three of you have worked very closely together over the many months. Rebecca is, if you like, the black sheep, bringing up the black sheep in the top that she's wearing tonight. But not the black sheep in the sense of that you do not want her here. You very much welcomed her here tonight with open arms. But very much the black sheep in the sense that without Rebecca's essence tonight, you wouldn't be able to work through this process, that the odd one out needed to come through. Rebecca had to channel in this way, which felt like that she would not be able to do this today. Now let's bring you back to the understanding of Vivien's question about sound healing. So Rebecca started to channel through some light language to all of you. Now in this light language was a very specific message. It was a coded message that you all had agreed to bring through this evening. So let's imagine that you were witches. Let's imagine that in a past lifetime you said, okay, in our next lifetime together, we're going to meet together. We're going to meet in a different circumstance, though. We're not going to meet round a cauldron in a forest in a dark, wintry night. We're going to meet on a Zoom call where it's nice, breezy and bright. We're going to talk with each other. We're going to connect with each other. And we're going to recognise that we're here before. We're not going to say this is just about Rebecca or Catia or Laura. We're going to say let's connect with us with each other as the new four. In this lifetime, we've come back together to be friends together, to work together, and to connect together. And when Rebecca brought through that frequency, it was a frequency that helped create a remembrance that we had been together in a previous lifetime. And that created, if you like, an awareness in us. An awareness that awakened something within us. A valve opened, it switched opened, and a new frequency came through. That meant Rebecca's throat chakra, which was blocking her, that the frequency of blue. It meant that Catia was able to start saying, Rebecca, you're here with me, I can see you, you're working with me now. Vivien, you started to say, Rebecca, I'm working with you, please start channeling and tell me how. Laura, you were there too, saying, Rebecca, I recognise your pain. I feel it as I've been there. Please do not show it to me again. So what we are showing to you now is the messages that you're all indirectly giving to Rebecca. You're all, if you like, in your own soul saying, come on, Bex, we've been here before. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's put this soul awakening and let's connect to the floor. Connecting to the floor means that we're connecting into the crystalline grids. The crystalline grids, the structures that we sit on tonight, is also part of this process that we are bringing you through. Recognizing this is not just about the throat, the physical chakras, the chakras that you're all sat on top of the crystalline grids that are coming through. Recognizing that Rebecca is receiving an energy now in her shoulder, an energy in her shoulder which is causing a little bit of pain. Recognizing this is coming through this lifetime again to help Rebecca recognize the energy again. It's we are now trying to clear away this pain. We're clearing away this pain that's coming through, like the pouring down rain. The rain that's coming down on the roof outside. We're here to help clear those energies that are deep down, that we have been ready and to come out from which have been hiding. Yes, Rebecca, you are not hiding these energies anymore. The energies which will stop you from hiding in this lifetime, from being the Ascension Channel, are now to come ready to start coming through. Recognizing the energy that's coming through from Laura, you're channeling through Rebecca to you. Laura, we're bringing through a frequency specifically for you. We're asking you to look inside your heart. What's it comes through for you now, Laura? A special connection for Laura coming through. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for bringing this through. This was Laura's connection, which was very specific for her and which was required for this evening to help resolve and dissolve the quantum entanglement which was held here in her heart space is now been resolved and dissolved. Thank you, Laura, for being part of this soul connection tonight. We're recognizing this has been brought through for you to help resolve and dissolve and come out of the process that you are held in. Catia, we'll come back to you. Recognizing this is a frequency that's here, specific for you. We're channeling through this frequency for you now, Catia. What do you feel inside? I feel like there's a pricking, which now needs to come out and from hiding. Yes, Rebecca, asking Catia now to also recognise the process of it inside of her that now is ready to be resolved and dissolved. Any messages that are coming through for Catia now are specific for Catia in this lifetime. Recognising any messages that are coming through are to help Catia work through this process that she is now ready to work through. Asking the questions of what's next for me now. Asking the questions for how do I become the medium in this lifetime. Rebecca is bringing through these answers for you now. Asking Laura and Vivien to both help Vivien now, recognizing that Vivien is also working through this process in this lifetime and how. Bringing through a frequency for Vivien specifically for you, recognizing this is a frequency that's coming in and through. Recognizing the frequency that we're now here to help hold is a frequency that's now not from a story, but a new story to be told. If either of you or any of you are starting to feel anything new, this is the frequency of the chakra that's been cleared. The throat chakra, the communication chakra, the intuitive chakra is now being bringing through a frequency now, holding this frequency for all of you, asking Catia, Laura, and Vivien to recognize that anything that is coming through, you might start to feel an emotion. You might start to feel like a childhood memory that comes up to rise. You might start to feel like a new sensation, something exciting, or something that you still feel like you need to disguise. Recognizing that I'm just feeling a very big shift happening like in my heart chakra now, that's working through my heart chakra. I know I'm feeling it coming through into my throat chakra. Now feeling it coming through my throat chakra, coming it feeling to my third eye. Into my third eye, claiming third eye, recognizing third eye for all four of you. Okay, recognizing third eye now being uncleared, unblocked. And now raising up to the crown chakra, feeling the energy coming into the crown chakra now. Feeling the crown chakra now being resolved and dissolved. Feeling the energy coming through the crown chakra. Holding open the crown chakra now for all four of you.